How much do we charge for rent in this property?
We're hoping to get around $3,000 to $3,200.
And do you think that's worth it?
I think so. We're going to rent it furnished, so hopefully that will bring up the price a little bit.
Can we go check it out?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Cool. So how much did you buy this property for?
I think we got it for $285 with 10K concessions, right?
$380.
Money must not be a problem for you, huh? $385?
$395 with 10K concession.
And so how much is your mortgage every month?
$2,600.
So what's the game plan then? You're going to live in this property right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Living in it for a short period of time, and then we're hoping that in a year or so we could move into another house and rent this one out.
The game plan was to furnish the house
Okay.
and then rent it out furnished.
But rent it on a year lease though?
Yeah.
Ideally, I mean, if there's scenarios such as 5-month renters, I've talked to people that do a lot of like 5-month renters for the winter, and then maybe we could upcharge to like $3,400-$3,500. If that makes sense, then sure. But ideally 1 year, just so we don't have to deal with it.
With the changes.
Yeah.
Did everything in the house come like this as is, or did you fix anything up?
The tile and the furniture, the fixtures came as is, but we added things like she found this on Facebook Marketplace. So essentially, we fully furnished the house on Facebook Marketplace. The couches, the tables, the TV stands. She found this great countertop that's like 400 or 500 pounds on Facebook Marketplace. And it goes great with the kitchen. I mean, it acts kind of like an extra cooking space and preparation space, while it's also acting as a seating area.
Okay, so how did you buy this property? What kind of loan did you use?
Conventional.
Conventional, how much did you put down?
$60,000 down.
And how did you save the money for your first property?
Working.
What do you both do?
I'm a teacher.
I work in software. She actually saved more money than I did, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's because I got to live at my parents' house for a couple of years.
So you did the smart thing, you stayed home and saved money. Would you recommend that to people who are starting out?
Definitely. I will never be able to save as much as I did in that time period.
What was the hardest part about the entire process of finding your first property? Because you were looking for a long time, right?
Yeah. I started looking for an investment property about 5 years ago, and then I kind of gave up because I was getting frustrated. And then we were looking at investment properties in New Jersey, multifamily homes, and that seemed impossible too because we were competing against all investors. And so this time we took a different route, and we were looking at single family homes that had more potential in the long run.
What do you mean by potential in the long run?
This area is growing a lot, and definitely you could see that there's new builds, that there's new construction where they're going to build more restaurants and shops and things like that. So I think later down the line, this area is going to become more and more popular. We're very central, 10 minutes from the beach, 10 minutes from downtown. And so seeing that potential, not just in the right now, but in the long run.
So what made you keep going after you gave up a few times?
I don't think we gave up. I think we transitioned.
No. Sarah definitely gave up a few times. I remember she was like, Antonio, I give up.
Maybe those are the words that she used, but I wouldn't say we gave up. I think we transitioned between locations and between what we were looking for. Like we're in Florida right now. We were looking in New Jersey for a long time. And for a long time, we were looking at multifamilies, and we've ended up with a single family. So, I mean, from where we started to where we are now, it doesn't always take that path that you think it's going to take. But I mean, I think both of us are pretty happy with where we ended up. Ideally, maybe if we're not profitable year 1, maybe year 3 or 4, we should be profitable. And based on what we think about the area, the equity should keep going up as well.
The timing too. I feel like last year in New Jersey, everything was so competitive. Everything was going over asking. People were waiving inspections, waiving appraisals. So it seemed impossible to do anything there at that time. Now I feel like things have slowed down, and so it made it more possible.
A lot of people were affected by the hurricanes, but from a housing perspective, it was noticeable being in this area, the drop in prices and the decrease in demand.
Because of the hurricanes?
People are scared.
Yeah.
They don't want
to be in a flood zone. They don't want to be in this area. Plus, you had the impact on the insurance companies. A lot of insurance companies were moving out of the area. So you have people's insurance rates going up like crazy. I mean, it depends where you are, but a lot of insurance companies have left Florida as a whole. So now if your monthly payment is already meeting your max allowance, essentially, what happens if your insurance now goes up $4,000?
Okay, so what was it like, the decision to leave New Jersey to come here just to get started investing in real estate for a year?
It's something that I've wanted to do for a while.
Were you scared? Were you nervous, like moving to a new area? Because a lot of people that I speak to aren't willing to do that. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to move to an area. But I suggest for them to move for an area just for a year or two, just to get started, meet people, learn the area, and then you can move back home. You could house hack once or twice and then move back home if you want to, if you really don't like the area.
I mean, I was definitely scared to move to a new place, leave my family, leave my friends, but I think overall it's been such a great experience for us, and just being able to live in the area helps you learn so much more about the area, gives you a better idea of where we wanted to buy, because learning the different areas and experiencing them before buying in them made a big difference. So this is our next guest room.
Looks nice. Looks exactly like the other one.
That
So
you
what
would
was your
just
total cost to furnish the whole place?
Probably $10,000 to $12,000.
We also bought the house right before Black Friday, so we got a lot of the big things like TVs and mattresses and things like that.
Oh, wow. Pro
Two
tip, buy
TVs.
your house before Black Friday.
Right before, yeah, we got 2 TVs for $500, 65 inches.
Okay, so what is the reason why you're investing in real estate to begin with?
Both of us have always wanted to get our investment property before our permanent property. So that was one of our goals. We both wanted cash flow. So we both wanted something that would give us cash on the side of whatever we're doing. Hopefully, when we get more properties, more cash flow, that'll help us in the long run, retiring earlier and things like that. But for me, I know I wanted a Florida house too, because I could see myself living here when I'm retired.
What would you recommend for someone who's planning on investing out of state then, given what you've learned doing throughout this?
Find a place that you know somehow, whether you have friends living there. Like we have a friend that is planning on buying a property here. When he has a house that he wants to be seen, I go with his realtor, I take a look at the house, I give him my feedback, I get on a phone call with him, FaceTime video. So ideally, you have someone that could check it out and know the area and vouch for where you're looking.
After everything you've been through, do you think it's worth it?
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
We want to do it again.
And what would you tell to someone starting out that's scared just like you?
Just do it. There's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a perfect scenario. You just have to do it. And I feel like through the learning experience of your first property, that will like help you with the next and the next. So.
Of course, take the time. Don't just pull the trigger without doing the research first. Working with you helped us a lot, assessing what would and wouldn't cash flow. I mean, we didn't just come here and find one house and buy it. We probably looked at 20 houses before deciding on this house. So not every house is going to cash flow.
Hit the follow button for more tips and interviews like this.